back to Wtf Rc Cars. So we got something for TRX today. It needs a roof rack. So I found this one on Amazon. I think I paid £15.29 for it. There were a bit of an offer on, but I think the normal price is £19.99 on Amazon. But I will drop a link in the description. So it says aluminium, but it's definitely heavier than aluminium, so I'm guessing it's steel. But for £15 odd, also comes with this little light bar, which should fit in those brackets, but it's about 4mm too wide to actually go in. But that's not a problem, I can sort that out. And for the price of it. So first thing we need to do is get it all lined up on top of your vehicle so it's as straight as it can be. And then what you want to do is get your hole tool, so your body reamer, and you want to just put a faint mark in the middle of all the holes. So first off, line it up, get it all measured up, and then once you've got it all measured up and it looks as square as you think you're going to get it, then get the holes marked. So we'll crack on with that. Right, so the easiest way I've found of getting it lined up is to get your roof rack lined up pretty much where you want it, put one hole through and then put a nut and bolt through, and then you can get the next one lined up. So we've just got that one marked, and then you can just carefully slide it that way and you can get that one in. Then if you just pop the bolt through there but don't put a nut on it, you can move along to mark the back ones, and you've got 2 points holding it, so you're not sliding this all around and moving it when you're trying to get it lined up. So we'll get the other holes put in. Right, so once you've got the holes in, put all 4 screws in, and that's held on pretty solid. This TRX 4 could do a wash. But we've got 4 nice neat holes. Don't be too worried if like that bottom one looks slightly closer to that ridge, because it really does depend on where these brackets are welded as to how much you get it central on the car. But I'm pretty happy with how that's come out. They're not exactly welded up, but it does job. Right, next thing we want to do, you've got to get your power wire through for the light bar. So you want to remove these 3, drop the top spoiler off, and I think we're probably going to need to take that plug off to get the wire through one of those holes. So let's get that removed, see how much room we've got to play with. Right, so we've got the top spoiler removed, and we're going to be aiming for this little square hole on the side, because we want to bring it through the opposite to the stock wires through this side, as you can see them. So we're going to go for that hole, but this plug's a bit too big, and rather than make that hole bigger, what you can do, you can lift these little tiny tabs up carefully and then just slide the cable out, pass the wire through, and then put the plug back on. And if you just remember, it goes black, red, white from the side where you can see the pins facing. So we'll get them removed because I can't do that with one hand. Right, so all I've done is lifted those 3 little clips up ever so slightly, and then if you do it nice and gently, you can get all them to come out. And it's the bit with the cutout on the top where it's crimped that faces up through that gap. I'm not sure if camera's sensitive enough to see it, but they have got tiny little clips on the top of them. But that's which way round you want it. So let's get these passed through the hole in roof and find out how we're going to mount this this light bar. Because, see if I can show you. So it should fit between that mounting hole and that one, but it's definitely too long by about 2 to 3 millimetre. So I've got to find some way of putting that in there, because I think if I try and bend those out, they just held on with tiny little welds and they're probably going to snap off. So let's crack on, see how we can get the light bar mounted. Right, so what I've decided to do, seems though the light bar, although it comes with it, is wider than the actual roof rack. So all I've done, I've put a few washers on here as spacers and a nut and bolt on it, and then just extended the bracket up, and I've got it mounted. So that's now really solid. You could literally pick the car up with it, and it's got it mounted nice and central, and you can also adjust it slightly up and down. But I'm quite happy with the way that sits. So now we need to move on. So we've put the wire through just under there, and then that will fasten back down. So now we need to get that flipped over, and then get that put back on inside with the 3 screws. So we'll crack on with that. Right, so don't tighten this end screw down too much, because you've got this wire now coming through there. So we've got to route this to put the end back on it, get them in the same order, black, red, white, with the top facing towards you, and just clip them all in. And they're back in. You literally just slide the plug back on. So then we've got to find somewhere for this cable to live. I've got another cable tie somewhere, but I'm sure we'll find it somewhere to keep it tidy. But as for fitting the roof rack itself, there you go. So we've now got a roof rack and a massive light bar. I think it is more luck than anything that the light bar actually lines up quite well with the top of the TRX. So I'm quite happy with how that's come out. Right, so final update. We got it all fitted. I've used some servo spacers and a few nuts and bolts to make the bracket. So what I've tried, because a few people have said that the light bar doesn't work at all, but it's a 3-wired light bar. So I've wired it into channel 7, and it's actually got a built-in channel switch, and that is a ridiculously bright light bar. Literally, I've just wired it to a on-off channel on the Noble, and then you can just switch it on off. What I've set it up to, let's see if I can focus on screen. So I've wired it up to the switch, and I've got it set to trigger. So if we have a look what it's actually doing. So basically how it works, it's set so you have to turn the servo fully one way and back to turn it on, fully one way and back to turn it off. So we've got it set to basically do that. So as soon as you press it once, it goes all the way to one side and then all the way back. And if I can show you how it works. So rather than you have to press the button multiple times, as soon as you release the button, it goes back. So you can just quick press, turn it on and turn it off. This would also work if you used a Y splitter to your second channel, to the channel for your second gear. So you could literally flick it into high-low, and then it'd turn it on. High-low, it'd turn it off. But just changing from high to low wouldn't turn it off, if that makes sense. But yeah. Thanks again for watching Wtf Rc Cars. If you like and subscribe, and we'll catch you again in the next one.